out the chat and need police in the stream. Banishing the trolls and protecting the team. And send Pappy Rick keeping the socials on lock, while Michael holding down the supply and the stock. And we got Big Rob, yeah, he is back on the block. Discounts flowing heavy from inside of the shop. And Ye's a 101, yeah, he blocking out the hate. Dropping Christmas prizes, doing 7 years straight. Respect to Sherry Ash, Queen guarding the gate. She slamming down the door on the envy and hate. And check the mechanic, Brandon, owning the stage. Making every lead, Jimmy turn a brand new page. Let the money burn slow, let the ego die fast. We build a legacy that was destined to last. It's the Lee Young, yeah. We stand on the concrete, realest leader of the one. Can we own the street? No snakes in the grass, just steel in the spine. We taking back the clock, yeah, we own the damn time. No snakes in the grass, just steel in the spine. We taking back the clock, yeah, we own the damn time. They rewrite the history with the bullshit and lies, but Val got the files, yeah, he cutting the ties. The historian is watching, he is checking the tape. Ain't no lies getting through, ain't no room for escape. And Martin in the cut, staying quiet and obscure. The world is burning down, but his vision is pure. He don't give a fuck about the drama or the noise. He is silent and heavy, staying perfectly poised. But one titan remain, he is ready to brawl. It's Raul, the enforcer, standing 10 feet tall. He didn't need a number, he just watched for the knife. Proved his loyalty is solid for the rest of his life.
You played games, we built a machine. Exodus final lead jump, forever, ever, ever, ever.
This is the end. The ash begins to fall. The world is fading out. Behind this velvet wall, a secret kept in cedar, a flame that's born of gold. The shadow smokers rise before the night grows cold. Feel the earth move as a match begins to strike. 1,000 brothers breathe in the silence that we like. Let the sky crumble, we'll watch it from the chairs, with a vintage in our glasses and no burden of the cares. Let the smoke fall, when it crumbles we will stand tall. Face it all together at the smoke fall. The smoke fall, where worlds collide and days are done. You may have the light, but we have won. The shadow smokers in the setting sun. Shadow smokers is where we start, 1,000 miles and poles apart. With silver bands and labels bleed, we find the only peace we need. No names, no titles, just the plume that fills the corners of the room. You'll never find us though we're near, drowned in the scent of atmosphere. Let the smoke fall, when it crumbles we will stand tall. Face it all together at the smoke fall. The smoke fall, where worlds collide and days are done. You may have the light, but we have won. The shadow smokers in the setting sun. Let the embers burn, let the seasons turn. In the Legion's name, we are one and the same. Through the haze we see it all. At the smoke fall, keep the ash long.
Hey guys, Soy Sauce Assassin. Welcome to today's Smokers Panel Live. It took me a little bit because I was looking for a Gurkha cigar and I cannot find it. So what does that mean? That means I have to think about other cigar that's a problem. What will be other cigar that will be problem in my arsenal? That's a that's a problem. All right. First of all, let's grab a random cigar then. I was literally just like, you know what? I'm gonna have a hell of a day today. I was gonna have like hell of a day today smoking a bad cigar, but like no, I guess I can't find it, so I'm gonna smoke a good cigar. And I was so sure I had a Gurkha somewhere. Should I just do a random one? Honestly, I don't have any immediately bad cigar. So I'm just gonna grab a cigar that I have no idea what this is. Okay. All right. I hope everybody had a good day. I hope everybody had a good weekend. You scored a box of new Casa Criollo Noir 2 last week at two guys. So, for those people doesn't know, by the way, congratulations. For those people doesn't know, I had a family death, and the tradition was that if you have family death, you don't buy anything. You don't buy anything to make you happy, right? So, like, I tried to not buy anything for a week, but I should go back to buy something next week. So, you know, I know there's new cigar coming out. I haven't decided anything I'm gonna get yet because, like I said, I wasn't thinking of what to get. Like I wasn't like, oh, I gotta buy that because like the more I look, the more I want it, right? So I didn't buy anything. Anyways, today let's talk about cigars. This is so weird. So people don't understand is I'm looking at a different screen, and like sometimes they did a software update, right? So now the software update shows you both a horizontal canvas and a vertical canvas. Now I guess that supposedly the vertical canvas is that you can dictate how it's gonna look like on a vertical device. But I think that's automatically, isn't it? Like it's not. So I don't know. I don't know. But you know, I'll figure out how to work it in the future. Not right now, not today. Okay. I'm smoking this Mayan cigar, and I'm pretty sure this is one of those CI cigars. Okay, and I just I bought it for the name probably. So that's what I'll say. All right, there you go. So we want to talk like I want to talk about today is what do you guys do when you bought a bad cigar? Like you thought it was gonna be good, but you bought a bad cigar. Right? Let's talk about that. Right? Because like for me, I'm an impulse buyer. Okay. I buy things at impulse. Like, oh, I feel great about it, I buy it. Right? I'm like a person that, do it and then regret later. Because we all have regrets, right? So why not do it at my own accord? Like, why not decide when to be regretful by doing something regretful? Okay. So what do you do when you get a cigar that is regretful? I'm not talking about one cigar, okay? Like buying one regretful cigar, that's okay. Smoke it, toss it, whatever. But I'm talking about like when you buy a whole box of regretful cigars. What do you do? Or well, what do you do when you receive a whole box of regretful cigars? right? What do you do when you buy a whole box of regretful cigars? And that will be a very interesting one because everybody treats it differently. A lot of people say, "Ah, you know, I share with people, throw it away. I send it to my friend, let them try it. Maybe they like it." I think those are the most typical things. Like a lot of time, I will save it for other people that might like it. And a lot of time, like, you know, I'll put it in, like, if I send somebody stuff, I'll put it as a sampler kind of thing. Like, one cigar, this I don't like, one cigar, this I don't like. You know, when you have 10 different regretful cigars, you got a whole, you got a sampler. You got a sampler. And I do that quite a bit. I will buy it based on the box design and band or name right? I will buy a cigar based on the design, band, and name, and just those, nothing else. There are very, 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 very rare occasions where a bad cigar will catch my attention enough where I will try to make it better. And when they say the word make it better, it's a very broad term. It could be figure out what makes it tolerable, figure out what makes it good, figure out how to live with it. Okay. And what do you guys do? I want to know what you guys usually do. Because well, I mean, I'm the exception, right? There are only, I don't know, very small amount of people like me. And I'm not saying to brag. I'm just saying that, you know, there are only so many people that will be like, you know, I'm gonna buy cigar all day, every day. Okay. There are only so many people that says, you know, my entire basement cigars. There's only so many of those. Okay. So like being someone that doesn't, making a good cigar purchase choice become even more important because now your budget matters. Not what you do matters, right? So, with that perspective, what do you do? Right? For me, I have cigars I don't like. I have a lot of cigars that I don't like. In fact, what I used to like, I might not like. Okay. And when I buy them, I might first like it, then not like it, and left it. And they build up, you know. So 1 month I have one cigar I don't like. Next month I have two cigars I don't like. Next month I have three cigars I don't like. I don't know. I just have a lot of those. And what will catch my attention is which one is created by someone I may have some sort of connection to. Now, when I say connection, it might not be they know me, I know them. It might be, oh, I really feel for this guy. I do connect with this guy or something like that. Hold on 1 second. Val just came in. Hey, Val.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm late, but I'm here.
There we go. So those cigars that I might have some sort of connection to, like mental, physical, emotional, whatever, I will try to find a way to make it better or make it a tolerable, smokable, whatever you name it. All right. And those what I'm talking about in terms of saving a cigar, like how do you deal with it, right? So Richard says I try to do my research, try at least two cigars before buying a box. I do regret giving them away. Too many Tabernacle Wiseman cigars, not realize they are great cigars. Okay. There are a lot of cigars that we smoke. Maybe at one point we don't give a crap about them. And you will find out like one day, there's gotta be some of those cigars, okay? One day you gotta go, oh my god, that cigar is great. Why didn't I realize that? But you know that you smoked it before. You definitely smoked it before. You have no idea why you didn't like it at that time, and now you like it. Now you like it. And it could be just a single size change. It could be a shape change or whatnot. Okay, I know myself. I have a Casa Cuevas core line, I believe. Um, I think it was Maduro. I didn't care for the core line. All right. Um, I think their reserve line is way better at one point. And one day I was walking around and Michael Wells just hit me a box press. And I smoked that box press. I was like, "Ooh, that looks new." I didn't even know that was like new, just box press, just old stuff. The band changed, and I looked at it. I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." And I took it up and smoked it. I was like, "That is so good. I need a box." And ever since then, I only smoked the box press for that. Right? It's all it does is taking somehow a box press changed. Right? So you never know. You never know. It got better after 6 months in the humidor. See, that's the problem, right? When people says I aged the cigar and I got better, isn't that telling me that the cigar was bad? If you got a cigar and you had to put in your humidor for 6 months and it was better, does that tells me like what does that tell? Like does that tell me the cigar was bad? Or is that saying that somehow the blender couldn't wait 6 more months?
I don't I don't know if it's the blender that they couldn't wait 6 more months. It might be getting the product out on time while all the other brands are getting their products out. You don't want to be. I think you want to get them out with everyone else. You don't want to be the last one to the show. I mean, I mean, how many times have we heard that? Oh, this cigar is really good, but I bet you it's going to be even better if I let it.
And that's the
Right.
problem, right? That is the problem. Like no cigar should be like that.
Well, theoretically, the answer, the proverbial answer is, you buy the cigar. Once you get it home, you should be ready to smoke it right then and there, just as if you were at the lounge or cigar shop and you
Exactly.
bought it and you cut it and you lit it. It's ready to go right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it doesn't. Now that's the problem, isn't it?
Well, the exception to the rule is that those cigars that we are unable to get, those are the ones, those Cuban cigars. And the exception to that is, yeah, they're ready, but if I got a Cuban, I may smoke one, but I know I'm not going to smoke any more after that for at least a year or 2 or 3.
No. The Cuban cigar is just not ready, period. Their soil is so bad right now that the tobacco is just simply not ready unless it's fermented long enough. Well, waited long enough. Like there's a lot not readiness in there. There's a lot of weird taste in there. There's a lot of not enough taste in there. That you gotta put it for another 3 years, 3 months to 3 years, just to get it to a point where you can really enjoy it. Right? As if like when you say like why would you release a cigar that's not ready?
Well, just like I said, you want to get it out there. You want to get it out there.
Right.
You don't
But
want.
wouldn't
You don't
that do
want
more damaging for your cigar brand
to.
than being out there late?
Well, no, because I'm able to buy that cigar, and I'm thinking I'm probably gonna let it age a little bit more. I'm gonna put it in my humidor for 6 months. I'll try
But
again.
there is only so many people in this hobby that actually keeps a humidor. I think it sounds weird, and I think that you assume that everybody has a humidor, but majority of people who smoke cigars don't have a humidor.
Yes,
The
and I
majority
am.
of people who smoke cigars don't even buy boxes.
And I have to remember there is a difference between having a humidor and having a storage door.
Sorry, okay.
Yeah, I call them storage. You got, hey, and there's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with having those acrylic things. Okay, that's a way for you to keep your cigars together. You can keep, throw. I'm not going to mention the brand's name because I'm not getting sponsored by them. But you throw one of those humidified packs, whatever brand it is that you like or you get a deal on, and you let them stay in your little vacuum container thing, and they're great. I mean, they'll maintain the humidity and stuff. That's great. But
No, I'm saying even less than that.
even less
I
than
think
that,
majority of people will just have a bag of cigars.
and that brand bag, of course,
No, no,
because
no,
if
no,
it's
no,
not
no. In
that
the
wait,
store
wait,
bag.
if
Okay.
it's not that brand bag, then you don't got the real deal. I'm just
You might
saying.
just go out there and you might get a cigar like this kind of bag, and then you just leave it at that forever until you smoke it. When you're done, you go out there and get a few more. There are a lot of people that smoke one cigar a week, one cigar a month, one cigar every 3 months, one cigar a year. And there are a lot of people that just buy a pack of those bundles and just one at a time, and don't even have a bag of storage.
Well, are they getting those fresh packs where they get the built-in
No,
humidification and moisture in?
believe it or not, I think those fresh packs are just people who just smoke those fresh packs. Like, if you have any variety, you go to say, okay, yeah,
Yes, I am.
let's say if look back at yourself when you first started smoking.
Yes.
How many cigars you get every time you go?
Every time okay, so yeah, so again, along my journey and being a novice at the time, and I still consider myself a novice and still on my journey. Um, yeah, initially I had a Ziploc bag and two or three cigars, and then I got a gift of I think it was a 40 or a 50 count humidor. And man, I was so happy and excited. I had no idea that you had to season those things. Okay. I just thought they're ready to go, you know? And I put my three cigars in there and they look lonely. Okay. They,
But there's the thing, right? Before you got the humidor, you will
yes,
go get a few sticks, and you'll be in the
I would,
bag.
I would get, yeah, I would get usually two to three cigars. I smoke one at the place, bring two home with me in the zippy bag that the store provided you with their brand name store on it. Yes. Or a cigar brand on it.
Right.
Yes.
So here you go. You will not get any container at a time, and most people will stay at that stage.
Well, okay, so I don't know.
And if nobody ever give you the box, it will take you a long time before you get a box, because you will not without the box you will not feel like that's not enough cigar. You're just like, oh, that bag looks
No,
pretty full. Okay, we're good.
well, no, no, no. I have to say I'm a little different thought on that aspect because then you start collecting zippy bags.
Right, but they will just be bags.
Yeah,
And
but you got two bags, three bags, four bags, and then you say, why do I have so many bags? Let me go get one of those
no,
one or
but
two
because you
gallon
only have
zippy
the
bags.
bags, each bag have no more than 5 cigars. You'll actually get through them before you go.
Wait a minute. Not if, as you said, you're only smoking one cigar a month,
That's the
or
thing.
or
But if you're smoking one cigar a month, would you really go get more cigars?
are you really a cigar smoker?
No, no, they are cigar smokers. There are people that smoke just so little. There's like celebrate once a month, celebrate once a week, whatever. There are a lot of those. There are a
Well,
lot of
look at
those.
all right. For those people that smoke one cigar a week, one cigar a month, they gotta have a humidor. They got
All
it.
right. So maybe not in the US, but in Taiwan, majority of people don't smoke at home. They don't smoke cigar at home. They don't keep cigars home. So they will, buy one or two. And they go there once a week, once a month, or less. Because they're very expensive.
Yeah,
right?
and that's another
And it
key
really
issue
depends on
there.
where you live. Your financial situation might be different, and there are a lot of people that would just not. There are a lot of people that smoke just bundles and nothing else.
Hey man, I tell you what, yes, everybody, when you first start, when you don't know anything about cigars, about the brands, about the tobaccos, about anything about it, the wrapper, the binder, the filler, okay, man, all you want to do is get some cigars and have a bunch, you know. It yeah,
Especially if you can tell.
yeah, especially if you don't know. If you don't know, you know, I mean, I'm sure there are many cigar shops and lounges. They have that so-called basket or shelf or bin or
I remember they
barrel.
have those flyers. There's like 40 cigar for like how much, whatever. I don't want
Well,
to say how
I
much it
mean,
is, but there's like very big discounts.
man,
You're like, how?
I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you what. I remember going a couple of times to this one cigar shop where it says, uh, a handful of cigars, $1 each. But they were like in a bin. I guess these cigars weren't selling. Who knows? Maybe they had you know, a crack here or a crack there or whatever. Man, when you see that $1 each, but it's only whatever you can grab in your hand, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure they had every now and then they're going to have a couple of good sleeper cigars in there, but most of the time they're not. Okay, most of the time they're not. They're the bundle sticks or whatever. But if you can grab a handful of cigars, how depending on the size of your hand, of course, how many can you really grab? Man,
Well,
I tell you what I did. I stacked them up. I put one row down, stacked up another row, stacked up another row, stacked up another row. I got about 20 cigars for $20.
at that point, they still, they plan to sell it for $1 each anyway.
Well, yeah, but when you see people ahead of you going there and grab a handful and they're only coming out with 4 cigars or 5 cigars,
But they're
so
still a
that's what
dollar
they
each.
yes, it's still $1 each.
Yo, Val, let me
But
tell
their
you this,
handful
okay?
got 5 and my handful got 20.
Val, what stopped you from checking out 5 times?
Uh that's a good question. Why didn't I go grab 5 and go pay and go grab 5 and go pay? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
They were gonna sell it for $1 each anyway. All right, I want to answer Richard's question. Says Tony, I mentioned that I had got a Kimchi electric humidor that I need a hygrometer that's Bluetooth capable. Do you have any suggestion? I suggest you not get one. It will drive you crazy.
It will drive you crazy. I will say yes to that. And it doesn't, and I can, I don't care how good the brand is, how well known the brand is, what kind of read ups you read about that brand. It will drive you absolutely nuts, especially when you can pick a selection like get a daily report or a daily update, get an hourly, an hourly update. You put it on your phone, click it. Oh yeah, I called it my Humi Hut. Okay, that's what I call it, my Humi Hut. Let me see what my Humi Hut says. Oh shit, I'm at 73% and my temperature is at 93. How in hell that happened? And then an hour later, I'm at 71% and my temperature is at 66. How in hell that happened?
You will
Now
spend all day checking it.
you will check it all the time. You
Yeah.
will, and not, then once you start doing that, you just check it. Then you start going into the mode of trying to adjust it. You
You
got it
cannot
plugged
adjust it.
in.
That's the thing. You
Yeah.
cannot adjust it.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, okay. Now you got your packet in there, or you may have that one brand that's like in the desert. I'm not gonna give it a brand name, but it's like in the desert. You see this thing out in the desert. Oh yeah, there's some greenery or some trees or some water. So you know what they call that. And then you got those other brands, electronic brands and stuff, and you know, you get to look at it, and then all of a sudden you start checking it, and now you're looking for consistency. Consistency. Oh, is that
While
71
you
at?
talk, I'm gonna grab another cigar. This cigar is so bad,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
continue.
it's at 71% at 2 o'clock, and all of a sudden, oh hell, it went up to 73% at 3 o'clock, and then it dropped down, you know, to 67% at 4 o'clock, and you're looking at ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, and then you're tracking it hourly. Then all of a sudden you get to track it, you get to look at the week report, and yeah, phew, yeah, I it drove me crazy. It drove me crazy, but I thought it was such a cool instrument to have. Okay, a cool item to have in my humidor. Man, I got me one of those Bluetooth electronic things where I can look at my humidity and temp, just pop in my phone, turn to that app, boom, there it is. And then you find yourself looking at it every hour. And then you're looking at it every day, tracking it every 2 days to see what the tracking is, how it's, you know, is it maintaining? Is it getting dips? And if it's getting dips, at what time of the day is it getting dips? And what's going on in the house when it's getting dips? You know, in the wintertime, does somebody put the heat on? In the summertime, somebody air conditioner on higher or lower or whatever? Drives you crazy. Drives you, you know what? Get your humidor, season it up, get your pack in there, throw it in there, let it go. Let it go. Because
All
the
right.
next thing you know, your battery dies, and there may be a time frame where, you know, you got used to checking that, and now you're in a groove and everything seems to be fine, and then you forget about it, you let it slip by because you're doing other things, and the next thing you know, yeah, 2 3 months later I'm going to check it, and it's what's going on with this? It's not appearing. Well, what happened? Get that battery. Then what do? Then you go crazy looking for batteries because you don't remember where you left them, where you left your spares. And then you go run to this next time you go to the store, you buy a pack, you only need one, but you know they never sell you one. They don't even sell you two. They sell you the 8 pack, the 10 pack, the 12 pack, the 20 pack. And if you want a bonus, you get the big 30 pack. Then you're set. Drives you crazy. I'm telling people, it drives you crazy.
This is
Don't
why
get
I said
blue.
it drives people crazy. All right. Let me
Don't.
explain a few things and let me answer some questions. All right. Here it goes. Number one. Hot nickel. U7K. I don't know. I just gotta call it hot nickel. Okay. Hot nickel. Um, the Bovi pack, that pack that you need to use is 65. Don't go any higher than 65. Don't have to go any lower than 65. 65 it is. Okay. Number two, your cigar, it's okay to go over the threshold for a while. You don't believe me? Take a cigar, get a bucket of water, dunk your cigar in there and come out. It will still be relatively dry immediately. Like if you just dunk it, take it out, it'll be still somewhat dry. It's not gonna get wet that fast. So we're talking about a whole bucket of water versus water in the atmosphere. It's not that much water. Okay? If you can survive at 90% humidity, your cigar will survive 90% humidity for a small amount of time. When I say small amount of time, I'm talking about, a day. All right? So the rule of thumb is your cigar don't like water. You don't need that much water. All right? You don't need that much water. All right? Your cigar needs the minimum, bare minimum. That could be 45, 55, 65, depends on where you are. It doesn't need anything more than that. And this is why they don't make 70%. There's no 70% Bovita packs. Zero. All right? There is 69 to 65. You don't need to go that high. When you have a humidor, putting enough water in there and just put Bovita pack everywhere. 65%, you'll take in the water and release it. You don't have to worry about it. If you put a hygrometer in there, as the atmosphere temperature fluctuates, percentage fluctuates, it fluctuates. And it's gonna drive you crazy. When you see something over 70%, you're like, oh my God, oh my God. But it could be because the temperature drop. As the temperature drops, the number goes up. All right. As the temperature rises, the number goes down for the same amount of humidity. Okay. So that's gonna drive you insane. There's no point to do that because even if you saw the number went up so much, let's say immediately says 90 degrees, 90% humidity, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. What you gotta do? Open your humidity, just let it go and see when it go drop down. It will never be accurate. All right. So let's say if you all say, oh, but I'm afraid that it goes too low. You have a humidor. It's supposed to keep humidity inside. It will be fine so long as you don't open it. When you open it, you smoke a cigar, it's a little bit dry, put more. That's all you need to do. All right. I have an electric one here. I literally only remember to add water once a month. And guess what? Every time I add water, it's bone dry. The reservoir is bone dry. Okay. But there's there's like Bovita pack in there. So I don't really care. You can smoke a dry cigar. You cannot smoke a wet cigar. Or technically you could. So don't think about it. Don't put a hygrometer in there as if that's gonna save your cigar. It's not. You can have perfect humidity. You can still have moldy cigars. Okay? You can have almost semi-dry. Any amount of water can create mold. Any amount of water can create mold. Okay? Any amount of water.
Yeah, but
So
let's make it clear. We're talking about distilled water.
it doesn't matter distilled or not because distilled water might be clean, but your cigar isn't. Okay?
Okay.
Your distilled water can give you a clean mist, but as soon as that mist hits something, it's not clean anymore. As soon as you put your hand, oily hand, and who knows touch what, now you might scratch your ball right before you touch your cigar. Not clean anymore. Right? So there's no environment that's absolutely safe. There isn't. Distilled water only helps when you knew your environment is super, super humid. Okay? And let me tell you this like really, really honestly. You think humidors in the shops use distilled water? You know how much distilled water they will need? Well, running 24/7.
Yes.
How much distilled water they'll need?
They're going to need a lot of distilled water.
It's not distilled. It's filtered.
Okay, filtered. You know, that's a good question. I'm going to have to ask my local lounge people the next time I go there. Say, hey, how are you humidifying these cigars?
They just had a tube, and the machine has a small filter in there. Nobody have enough distilled water. You can have reverse osmosis. Let me tell you what I do during the winter. When I have a period of time which is kind of dry, and if I want to add water to this machine, what I do? I get one of those zero water filter. Once you filter through that thing, it measures zero. There's nothing in there. And I consider that close enough to be distilled.
Wait a minute. A zero water what?
So there's a brand of water filter. It's called Zero Water, I believe.
Okay.
So when you filter through their filter, they actually include this thing that you can test the materials in the water.
Okay.
Right? Any mineral deposit, whatever, it will tell you how much is in there. It tests out zero. If you test out 0.1, you're supposed to replace the filter. All right. So I'll filter it, test zero. All right, good enough to use that distilled water.
Wait, so you have to put that in the machine?
It's a filter.
Or you just drop it, or you just drop that filter in your reservoir?
No. It's a pitcher.
A pitcher. Okay. Like that Brita pitcher.
Yes, yes.
Like the Brita water. Okay.
So like
Okay.
I would just filter it, test it, 0, put it in the bottle, and I'll use it.
Okay. I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. That's all I do. Because like distilled water, in theory, is the cleanest you gotta get. It's just drip water, right? But the bottle is not that clean. The factory cannot be absolutely zero stuff. Everything that goes in the factory has a level of tolerance. So when I filter it, I give it a little level of tolerance. Distilled water is cheap though. Like you can buy $1 a bottle, $1 a gallon pitchers.
Yeah.
So I use those pitchers and I fill this up. And now it's distilled water.
Okay.
Or close enough.
Close enough.
Right? And I'll fill it whenever I remember it. I will not fill it because majority of the time my humidity in my place is
Yeah.
right
It
now
holds
64, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't have to fill it. But for people who is needed to, you gotta live in a very dry area to even worry about that, okay? And understand this, right? Summertime, you got dry days, and got rain, and have wet days, and then it's gotta fill up. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Long time ago, humidor didn't exist. And then the long time ago, when humidor existed, it was metal.
Yeah. It was metal. Usually copper line or something like that, right?
Yeah. It doesn't do shit other than cooling down. It doesn't add humidity or anything. If at that time cigar can survive, your cigar will survive. Trust me. If it's too dry, add a little bit moisture. All right, here's the thing. If you're smoking a cigar that's too dry, you take it, you touched it, you knew it was too dry, there's nothing stopping you to go to the Arnold way. Get a little bit something, dab a little bit water on it, just a little bit, brush it, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then smoke it. Okay? But it's too wet. You got to pray to God today's atmosphere is dry enough to dry that out. Because you probably had to put it in a dry box for a week before you can smoke it. So I'd rather have it more dry than more wet. Because there's more way to fix it, it's more dry. There's no way to fix it when it's
Yeah.
dry.
When it's wet, all you have to do, you got to wait on time. That's all.
There's no way to extract water out of it faster. And if you like, Tony, I would just put it in the oven.
Or a blow dryer.
Those
Use your
two is
wife's
gonna ruin
blow
your cigar.
dryer.
Those two is gonna ruin your cigar. Guaranteed. All right.
Yeah, put it in a microwave for about 10 seconds.
I tried that. Nuke the cigar is not taste good at all. All right. So don't get a hygrometer because it's gonna drive you insane. Not to mention hygrometer is like plus minus like few percent a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's not even accurate. And you don't really need to know. You know when your cigar is too dry. You pick up the cigar, you squeeze it. All right, it's too dry. Can you smoke it? Yes, you can. Just be very careful. And you know when cigar's too wet. You take it out, spongy. All right, too wet. That's all you need to know. The percentage is just a number. That is not a guaranteed. Just like some cars, the oil runs hot. Some of the same car, the oil might run a little lower. Still runs. So don't worry about that. You gotta drive yourself insane. Try to keep up with that. You drive yourself insane. All right. So for every 20 cigars or 25 cigars, put one large pack of Boveda in there, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. If the Boveda pack is always dry, fine. Just put enough water in there. Put enough water in there. When I say water, a tray, water, you're all set. All right. So don't worry about it that much. If hundreds of years people smoking cigars, they were able to do it without, you can do it without. In fact, this cigar was sitting on my table for at least a week now. Just on my table. I picked it out and smoked it. Tastes like espresso. It's great. You know? So there's that. There's that. Does that answer your questions? Does that answer anybody's question? I hope it does. I know, like, every time everybody come ask me this question, I always tell them, don't worry about it, just leave it. And, you know, and I'm not the only one that say that. There's plenty of cigar makers that tell you do not worry about it. They don't give a shit about that number. There is many other cigar makers that says, I don't believe in 70-70. I think Steve Saka also don't believe in 70-70. I think he said it one time. 70-70 is a myth. The only reason we use 70-70 is because that was the only way of measurement. There's only, like, you can use a salt test and it gives you 70-70. That was it. That was because it was measurable. Not because it was best, but it was because it's measurable. But I don't think anybody can tell me that I always use 70-70, perfectly 70-70, never go past 70-70 or under 70-70. No. I don't think anybody can do that. Just to know, 70-70 is a huge difference from 69-70. It's also a huge difference between 71-70. It's not the same. 70% in different temperature is not the same amount. All right, so let's go back to our original topic, which is what do you do with cigar that is not ready, not good, not you know, what happened when you buy it and not good? What do you do? Like, you know, you can let it sit longer, but the sitting longer, it does not mean it'll get better.
So here's the thing. If you're gonna, again, you have to remember. Yeah, you have to remember. Yeah, I think you have to separate those cigars that you're letting age or rest longer from your other cigars that you have in your smoking. You got to keep, you keep them in the same humidor, but you got to keep them in a separate tray. So you know that these are the ones I'm letting wait, okay? And if you want to really kind of monitor it, get yourself a little dot sticky, date it, stick it on that cello if it has a cello. So this way you know the month, at least a month in a year you started doing that. Because you're not going to remember. You're not going to remember all these cigars that you have in there resting. When did I put this one in? I don't remember.
But that's beyond that question, right? Because like I just said, there's no guarantee your cigar, if you let it age, is going to be better.
Yeah.
If there's no guarantee,
the presumption is that it's going to be better.
Okay, so how long?
But that doesn't necessarily is going to be true.
But the question is now is how long?
Yeah, yeah.
How long do you have to let it sit before it gets better? How long it should sit?
Damn it.
Did you ash?
I mayonnaise myself.
How long do you leave the cigar that you don't like in your humidor before you say that's enough time for it and it's got to be better?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, well,
which goes back to the beginning. Why would you release a cigar that's not ready? That would tarnish your brand. Why would you do that? You just say, "Oh, I want to get it out there," but if you get out there, it's gonna tarnish your brand. Why would you get it out there?
Yeah, and we've heard that about some cigar brands over the last couple of years that yeah, it's an okay cigar, but I'm sure that if you let it rest, another 6 to 9 months and go back and try it, I'm sure it's going to be better. Well, you hope it's going to be better, right?
But I don't
And
even know
what
how
and
people
what if
came out with that
and what
number.
if it is better? And what if it is somewhat better? And then you realize it's not for you. That cigar just ain't hitting right for you.
The thing is that when you age cigar, you're losing flavor over time. It gets more mellow.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you
I
really wanted was a lighter cigar.
I have a hard time understanding where, and I know people that do this. They buy a cigar. Oh yeah, I've had that cigar for 5 years. Well, when are you gonna smoke it? About another year or two, I'm gonna start smoking it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know. And in some ways I do get it. You buy the cigar at that time because by the time you're ready to smoke it, 5 to 7 years later, that cigar is not available. Or if it is available, it has to be tweaked because it's not going to taste like it did 5 to 7 years ago because the tobacco is different.
I need people to know this, okay? When you are aging your cigar, it's not really aging your cigars. When your cigar, your tobacco does not continue to ferment in your humidor. It does not. The fermentation already stopped. Right? It does not continue to ferment. Right? The fermentation takes heat, takes humidity, takes techniques, and all that stuff. It's not just like, hey, I'm gonna put it in the humidor and then now it's aged. All right. When you're aging a cigar, you're exchanging the cigar's harshness with maybe cedar. Okay. Or you're waiting for the flavor to be more harmonized together. So it become one flavor. But it does not continue just to age like wine. All right. And when you think about age, you might think about like, oh, it's like wine, the longer it's better. Wine continues to ferment inside the bottle. Okay. It's like whiskey. Once it's done, it's done. It only gets
Yeah.
lighter. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It only gets less. All right. So whiskey, the water evaporates as over time. Alcohol evaporates over time, gets more mellow. So, cigar is the same way. The oil dries up and gets more mellow. Exchange the water with fresh ones, so it carries out some flavor, carries out some harshness. It gets lighter, gets more mellow, gets more smooth. Yes, because they're more mellow. So you aging the cigar is not making it better. In fact, you contaminate other cigars in your humidor. All right. Literally, there's a reason why we don't put flavor cigars right next to your regular cigar because the flavor cigars will contaminate the cigar. Okay. When you have a humidor full of Maduros and you put Connecticut in there, it's gotta contaminate. All right, it's got a cross flavor or whatnot, and sometimes it's not the best. Trust me, we've tasted some really weird cigars because it contaminated. Okay, you'll see that a lot of time I will put bags in my humidor to separate the cigars. In my humidor, well, not really humidor. I got bags. I got bags just to separate them. I got bags. I'm gonna put this back. Hold on. I got levels and bags to separate the cigars because I don't want them to contaminate. Okay. I got bags and things in bags all over because I know that it might be too strong for the rest of the cigar. It might contaminate the other cigar. And sometimes I do have flavor cigars, just whatever I receive, I separate them. Okay. Any cigar that has mold on it, in a small amount, like say I see a one dot, brush it off, put it in the bag. Okay. And if you can change the mold, I throw it away. But if it doesn't mold, I'll find a day just smoke it. So it's not like keeping the cigar too long in your humidor might not be a good thing. not always a good thing. Right? So I don't know why, like, I don't know why people think that if you put a bad cigar long enough, it's gonna be better. No, I think what it is actually it got more mellow where the flavor that you don't like disappeared. And it become a cigar that's more acceptable because the flavor you don't like disappeared, like earthiness or whatnot. But it's not getting better. What you wanted was a lighter cigar. Well, what you wanted was a cigar that did not taste like that. All right, so that's the problem. Like, what do you do with the cigar? Like, how do you make a cigar taste better? In my opinion, get a strong drink. When I say strong drink, not like heavy alcohol. When I say strong drink, I mean a pungent, flavorful drink that will cover up majority of the flavor of your cigar, so that you can get through that cigar. In fact, today's drink, what I have is it's like a green tea with lemon in it. So that did not cover up this cigar. This cigar was so bad, I didn't want to keep going, so I changed on the cigar. But what'd you do? Like, I know a lot of people was like, smoke one or two cigars, and then decide whether or not they want a box. But sometimes you don't get to do that. For example, if tomorrow they release a Seahawk autograph version of to remember the championship that they won a couple years ago, cigar, a box, Val will be waiting in line to buy
Yes.
that box. He won't be like, let me buy one stick to see if I like it. No, he's gonna buy the entire box.
I'm buying the box. I'm buying the box. Yes, I am. And I will be making some calls to some of the people I know in Washington to make sure they get it for me.
Yeah. So, but then why if the cigar suck? Well, Val will be fine. We'll be like, I will never smoke
I'll be
it.
okay
I'll
with
keep
that.
it whole.
It'll be the best cigar I've ever had. The best.
It'll be the best cigar he ever had that he never smoked.
Well, I gotta smoke. Well, yeah.
He'll find a way to get one and never touch that box.
Yeah, I find a way to get one to smoke it, and if it tastes bad, oh well. I got a collectible.
Right?
It'll just look good in a display case. Let me show you something.
But what
Now,
if it
open up the
wasn't that?
box. Look
What
at
if
that.
there was just another cigar that you received from a friend that tastes really bad?
I got a good idea for that since you brought that up, Tony. Look at this. I want people to imagine. Imagine your favorite football team, whoever it might be, and they're playing whoever else they play in the Super Bowl. Okay, and let's say your team won because you want your team to win. So we're going to say your team won. Here's my idea of the box. Listen to this, Tony. This is amazing. Let's say the score is 41-33.
Okay.
You are going to get that count box.
41.
So you're going to get 41 Seahawks cigars, and you're going to get 33. Let's say San Diego Chargers.
Why?
Because that was the score of the game. And you're going to get your bands in the team colors, or the Super Bowl team colors.
Okay. But why would I want the other team?
Because they were in the Super Bowl.
I know they're in the Super Bowl, but if I don't like that team, I don't want any of this.
It doesn't matter. Well,
I don't want to pay for it.
Look at this. Well, here are your options here. You got options here. You're going to get one box of that, or you can get the box of your team with that 40-something count, or if you're a member of the other team, you like the other team, you're going to get that box that has 33.
You know how hard to fit 33 cigars in the box?
Even if the score is 15-7, all right, 10-3, whatever the score is, that's the amount of cigars you're going to get.
Really? So if they won by like a field goal, 3-0.
Yes.
What do you do with 0?
You get a commemorative band.
right? If you got 0, you don't get to do anything.
You don't get no cigars. You get a commemorative band, and you get the box.
It kind of defeats the point. But
No,
yeah, I get it.
Wait a minute. Look at. When these teams come up in championship games, they make championship shirts and all that stuff for each team. But they only release to the public to the team that won.
Right, but
other
that's kinda
team,
different.
That stuff gets shipped out to someplace.
No.
That stuff gets
They
shipped
had the
out to-
image. They had the image made, but they're not printed yet.
Yes, they are printed. They are printed.
No.
Yes, look at Tony. Look at when the game is over, they have championship shirts, T-shirts, and hats made for each team, but they only bring those out for the team that won. Guess what happens to those other stuff? That other stuff everything gets pulled, put into a box, and they're sent to some needy country that needs clothes.
No, because
I think that happens. I could
no,
be wrong,
because
but
that
I think
means
happens.
that means there is a championship team shirt out there existing for a team that never won.
Yes.
No, it will not.
Yes.
It will not happen.
Yes, I believe so.
No, it will not happen. So what they do
I
is, once they win, they put out the orders so you can online order them, and then they'll print it all night throughout the day. They will not make a shirt that will twist the history like a Mandela effect.
I think you're wrong. I think they're made. I think they're made in X amount of quantities.
No.
Okay.
Now, if
And then
you want
once
me
they
to know,
sell out
okay,
those quantities,
if
then-
if the one that will only exist is the one made for the team, all right? So if you tell them that before they win, all of them already got, like say it was Chargers versus Seahawks.
Yeah.
Both teams already have enough shirt for everyone in the team. If they win, they wear it. If they didn't, they return it.
Well, they've got enough. Yeah, they've got enough of those items for the winners at the game, for everybody that's associated with that game.
Yeah, but not
Everybody.
for sale that same night. You have to order it online, where you have to go find it tomorrow. They print it all night and get it out. There's multiple factories that makes it. It's not one single factory.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
But getting back to the point, right? Is that number one? I don't think that cigar thing is ever gonna work, because cigars it's already frowned upon by the society.
Yeah, and they would be special limited commemorative editions. Yeah, only X amount.
Most teams will not want to. Most. I'm saying most, not all. Most teams will not be wanted to associate with cigars unless the person who owns the team smokes cigars. Because smoking and sports don't mix well.
And yet, you see them break out those cigars in the locker room when the team wins.
Because when they win, nobody complains.
And they're available to the public. Limited amounts. But
What?
available.
Like what? How many teams in history has a cigar?
I can name 3 teams right now. Well, not 3, maybe 2. Let me think. 2 teams I can think of right now where you can find cigars. I'm talking college teams where you can find cigars for that college team.
Okay, let's not talk about college, right? Because that's not a big business. It's a college thing, right? Talk about NFL.
NFL.
How many teams has a cigar?
How many teams? Well, I don't think they have one yet.
Exactly.
However, they do break out a box of cigars in that locker room.
They can break out whatever cigar. You know, that's the work of individual player. Has nothing to do with the team.
Right? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You are correct, mundo.
That's why it's not gonna work because the teams NFL, it's a business. It's the thing. They all have like clauses of what they can do and what they cannot do. I'm pretty sure controlled substance are not. You can't do that. Can't do that.
No, not a controlled substance. No.
Which is funny why tobacco is still a controlled substance.
Hmm.
People are like this, okay? If they use it, it's not a big deal. Whatever it is. If they use it themselves, regardless how controlled it is, it's not a big deal. But when they don't use it, now it's bad. Now it's bad. Let me tell you a story of a post I found recently. A woman who's got lung cancer. She made a post complaining about her husband smoking. And then you get all these people now start complaining about her husband. Saying that, oh, your wife already got lung cancer. Why do you continue to smoke? Everybody was against the person. Now, we don't know nobody knows the person. It's just a post. I see it differently, and I went up there and says, as a modern society, we know that female are prone to get lung cancer without ever smoking. It's just in your DNA. It's in your genes now. All right, a lot of female are getting lung cancer naturally. Naturally. All right. And then people are saying that, well, that defeats the point. We're saying that the husband is smoking. How do you know the husband didn't cause her lung cancer? Well, that's not the point. Let's say if the husband did cause her lung cancer, then why doesn't the husband didn't get lung cancer? And then obviously the argument was that the secondhand smoke are more likely
Yeah.
to get lung cancer than the first-hand smoker. Even though the first-hand smoker filter majority of it, you think the second, is supposedly somewhat more poisonous. And I don't condone that, obviously. But I say, well, shouldn't he be happy because the husband is working his way to join her as fast as possible?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but I shouldn't have wouldn't looked at it that way.
Because there's no way to reverse it. She had lung cancer. There's no way to reverse lung cancer. All right? So she's just living every day as a bonus. So he's working his way to join her. But let's talk about this a little bit, okay? The guy has no problem. A lot of people that smoke has no problem. She got lung cancer. She doesn't like the smoke. She had the choice to walk away. She didn't want to. She wanted to be right next to it, smoking the second hand. Now we're talking about cigarettes. So we're not talking about cigars, okay? We're talking about cigarettes here. All right. I haven't heard anybody that had a female wife or whatever mate that got into an issue with husband smoking a cigar and got sick. I haven't heard that. Myself personally, I have not. But their problem is that now the whole post evolved to everybody complaining about people smoke random places. People smoke in the park, people smoke in the street, people smoking, like, they're just not like it. They're like, people smoke. They're polluting my lung. That's what they're saying. And the argument is always, why didn't you just walk away? If somebody farted, you didn't like the smell, wouldn't you walk away? Right? If somebody was burning, let's say, wood or whatever, trash in the back, whatever, you don't like the smell, wouldn't you just walk away?
Yeah.
So why is it all of a sudden become a problem? Because they don't use them themselves. Now they're saying, okay, the government should ban smoking, period. Because it's harmful. It's harmful. Then I'll say, okay, then in that case, why didn't government ban burning for energy? Fire energy. Why didn't you just ban burning for energy? Why didn't you burn driving? all the cars out there are pushing out some serious bad fumes. Ban that too. There are, an atmosphere has worth air, like more harmful air than smoking, in theory. So remember the Canada's fire a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That fume from that burning forest is equivalent to 50 cigarettes a day.
Mm.
Breathing in that fume equivalent to 50 cigarette a day. Why you gotta do ban trees now too? Do we blame the tree for having too much trees? Let's cut them all down. Too much trees. That costs you smoke. That's gonna give you 50 a day. Even diluted, 20. It's quite a bit. And you can't even walk away. It covers your entire state. So why didn't we ban trees? Why didn't we ban trees? Cooking. The cooking smoke and fume. We should ban cooking too. Man, the cooking fumes are bad. We should ban smoked brisket. That's like burning trees, Val. On purpose.
Yes.
We
Yes.
should ban that too. We should ban chimneys. Burning for heat? Oh my god, that smoke must be bad. Which I don't know how poison that is. I'm pretty sure it's not good for you, but I love the smell. I love it when winter somebody's burning wood for heat. It smells great. But we don't ban that. It's not controlled. Makes no sense. So what the ultimate conclusion is, if you don't use it, it bothers you. If you use it, it doesn't bother you. If you're a professional meat smoker, you run a restaurant that smokes meat and you use X amount of wood chip all freaking day, doesn't bother you. In fact, if you run a sriracha factory, the chili doesn't bother you. But it bothers everybody neighbor. Right? If you run a factory that makes tires, that fume, poisonous. For sure. For sure. But because you're making it, it doesn't bother you. But if you don't make it, it bothers everybody. Well, have you ever sat in somewhere smoking and somebody come actually approach to you and complain to you?
No. No. No.
So not once do we sit somewhere to smoke and somebody comes and says, "Hey, can you not smoke here? You're killing me."
Yeah, when I'm around crowds and stuff and I see who's there, and I usually find a spot where I'm going to be separated from them so I don't create a situation like that, you know. But if I'm approached, I may have some words with them. I'm still going to smoke. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to move. If it bothers them that much, then you walk away. Then you go somewhere else and take your goddamn kids with you. Yeah.
I rarely go smoke in an area where there's no, like, in public. I rarely do that. So if I'm smoking, I'm smoking in a smoking area.
I'm gonna tell you what I did because of what happened in the past by my house. Having things done by having get-togethers by my house, and I smoke cigars, and I would try to find some place so I wouldn't bother people with my cigars. So I'd be sitting away, and most of the time I'm by myself unless somebody else happens to be there that smokes a cigar. Then we'll sit together, and I'll always hear them ask my wife, well, why is your husband sitting over there? Well, that's because he's going to smoke a cigar and he doesn't want it to offend anybody. So this is what I did. I went and got me my very own pop-up tent, a 12 by 12 pop-up tent. I got my own separate table and chairs, and I put a sign out there that says reserved for cigar smokers.
Ah,
And nobody sat at that place but me. Nobody.
sure.
Because otherwise I'm just sitting out there in the open, and I got me a small table, and I got me my chair, and I got me my ashtray. And I don't have a nice umbrella over me because it's being used by family and guests. So that's what I did. So I have a dedicated cigar smoker tent, easy pop-up tent, table and chairs.
I mean,
That's
I can
right.
get it. Somebody go to your house. They're celebrating a event of some sort, a holiday of some sort. They don't want to sit away from the rest of the family where they're not interacting.
Yeah.
Because if they
And
are, that defeats the point you go.
yeah, and a lot of times, I will choose a cigar that's going to last a couple hours, because I could finish the cigar, put it down, and go sit with everybody else. Or I could just put it down and go sit with everybody else, and then after I get done talking, I go back and have to relight. But I figured, no, just give me a nice Churchill, or give me a nice 6x60. Okay, so I can take my time. Yep, that's the way you do it.
Here's another good question.
That's how I do it.
Bill, have you ever get a Churchill that is too strong for you?
I haven't yet.
Have you ever got a cigar where you smoke first third, you're getting sick?
No, but I remember early on in the beginning, I didn't understand the effects of the cigar, uh, because I was out there drinking. I think I was drinking a raspberry. I think it was a raspberry iced tea with a cigar, and I was taking my time with it, and it was fine, and I was good. I mean, I had no problems walking around. And then once I finished the cigar, about 5 or 10 minutes later, I went to stand up, and I took 2 steps, and I was dizzy, and I could not walk straight. I'm walking like this. I'm walking like this, And then I remember getting inside the house, and my wife asked me, "Did I fall? Did I hit my head? What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know," and I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know. I didn't know the cigar did that to me. Okay. And it took me a while to figure it out. But man, I tell you, I was dizzy. I was lightheaded. I was sweaty. I was weak. It lasted about a half an hour before it started to subside.
Mhm.
And then I think I told at the time, this was back in 21. Okay,
Okay.
this is back in 21. And I remember talking to James and Jeff and Albert, and they told me, "Oh, yeah, that was the cigar. The cigar hit you that way. The cigar hit you that way." And then I started paying attention to my cigar smoking pace. Okay. And I started paying attention, or I became more aware of physiological changes that were going on with me. All right.
Mhm.
Like I would start to develop beads of sweat. And I said, "Oh, okay. it's a cigar. So I got to start, you know, drinking more liquids. Then I would drink water, or I'd pop a couple of candies in my mouth, some chocolate in my mouth. Okay,
Okay.
all right, and that's again, but yeah, that's what I learned on that part. But I don't remember. I do not remember the name. And man, I tell you what, if there was any time you want to collect and save a band, that was the time to do it, because I should have kept that band and wrote a note on it, so I know what brand it was. And I'm not saying this will happen with every cigar that brand makes, because their lines, the blends are different, and you may not get that effect.
But do you even remember that cigar?
I don't even remember it. I don't remember it. I wish I did. I don't remember it. Okay. Yeah, but I do remember that feeling. And I do remember from that point on, and after talking to guys, and I remember to become more aware of that. And I also started to make sure that I had a Dr. Pepper close by, a cream soda close by, a Coke or a Pepsi, and some Hershey Kisses or some Hershey Squares or some peanut butter, little bite-sized peanut butter cups close by. And if anything, a packet of sugar. Okay.
Pack of sugar still take some time to cure that. It still
Yeah.
take half an hour. So
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
wanted to know is anybody when you get sick,
But
do you go back to finish the cigar? That's the question.
would yeah,
Hey, Tiberius.
because I mean, yeah, I would go back. And when I started having those physiological changes, the beads of sweat and maybe a little lightheadedness, then after I would try to take those, the drinks and the candy and stuff, I would still smoke that cigar, but I would slow down my pace. I would really stretch
So
that
if you have a
cigar out.
sign, you continue.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as I have a sign, I stop.
Yeah, no, no. And not because, and I mean, and we've talked about it. Uh, you put your cigar down thinking you're only going to be away from it for like 5 minutes, and the next thing you know, 2 hours go by. Or uh, you're smoking a cigar with a bunch of people and stuff, and everybody leaves, and now you're by yourself, and you only smoked half of the cigar. And what I usually do is I clean off the ash really good. I blow out to get some of that warm air out of the cigar, and then I cut it again. I cut it, so I'm gonna smoke it again the next day. All right, it's still smokable. It's still smokable, but it never tastes the same. Never tastes
It
the
cannot
same.
be because it's already filtered out enough smoke, and that's inside the leaf. You cannot blow it out.
Yeah, yeah. But I think when I'm blowing out, I'm just trying to blow out the heat that's inside the cigar. But yeah, but whatever's in there is in there. You're not getting rid of it.
That's why I'm like, I wonder how many people does that. I mean, I know a lot of people in Asia does this because cigar is expensive. So they will try to wait or come back to it the next day or whatever. But for me, I don't ever go back. Like I sit here to see if it goes like I feel better and continue. But if I don't feel better,
You're
that's when
done.
I stop. I don't
I
smoke
just
that.
like um, and I've seen people do this. You get your cigar, and you got your cigar band.
Mm-hmm.
If you got one cigar band or maybe a secondary, I've seen people only smoke their cigar up to the cigar band.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they get to that point, they're done with it. And I'm looking at that cigar, and I'm thinking, there's a whole lot of cigar left. And
Yeah, but it's a good practice to be honest with you.
I mean, if the guy takes off a secondary band and smokes a little bit more till he gets to the primary band, yeah, he smoked it down a little bit. But me personally, I mean, I try to smoke this cigar down as far as I can, as far as my fingers can tolerate the heat. Okay, if I don't have uh
Pick.
a nub holder, a nub pick or something, I'll hold it like this, man. I will just I would just smoke it down as far as I could. And it's not that it's going to be any better, because by that time it's not any better.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the money that I put out for this cigar, I am gonna get my money's worth.
All
Even
right.
if that cigar only cost me $2, I'm getting my $1.99 out of it. Okay,
That's
that's right.
a statement that I always have problem with. Is people think that they are not getting their money out of it if they don't smoke the entire cigar.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, because really, when you smoke your cigar down to a certain point and you think you've gotten everything out of it, and there's no more, you're not noticing or picking up any changes. All right, and okay, it's done. You can put it down and light something else up. I get that. I understand that part, because it doesn't. From that point on, it doesn't matter how much more you smoke. There's not going to be any more changes.
It's not that. I honestly, in most cases, I think the last third of the cigar are not that great. In most cases, okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm
In most cases, the last third of the cigar is watered down. Is that true? Watered down.
it's yeah, it's weakened. Yeah, it's weakened.
Okay.
It's
So
lightened up. It's yeah.
and here's the
So
thing, right? This is what I realized over time. Okay. The last third of your cigar is it serves majority of the time, 2/3 of the cigar as a filter. Okay. So all your cigar go through there and picks up some flavor and continues. So when you get to the last third, the heat had already diminished a lot of flavor. Right? So if you don't believe me, go out there and smoke a cigar on a really hot day. The cigar tastes like nothing. Right? So the
oh
heat already kind of evaporates some of the flavor. The last stir has carried on most of the soot and all the nasty shit that has come with the smoke before it reaches you. So
um
last stir really don't have much of good stuff.
and yet and yet to throw a little wrench in there, we look at these cigar reviewers, and you get comments about all three thirds. The
Right. I
first
mean
third is
that's
this
just because it's a standard practice, right?
practice.
And everybody endpoint is different. Everybody's endpoint for the last stir is different.
Yes, that's true. And I remember distinctly your endpoint on a particular cigar was 2 puffs. Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I tend to leave about two finger, 2.5 fingers at the end. I don't smoke that in usual cases.
Okay.
So like this is end for me. 2 fingers. Or
Okay.
2.5 if you want to count that little bit in the front. Right? Because I think the rest of the dirty stuff is in here. All right? And it's already been watered down at the end anyway. So for me, if I go anywhere close to that, I got my money worth. And that's the thing about money worth. It's like I think if I enjoy the cigar at any point, I got my money worth. Let's say
Right.
if this particular cigar only the first third is great, second third is mediocre at best, and the last third is horrible.
You're done.
Then I smoke 2/3, I got my money worth because I know that's what I paid for.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm trying to find an example. Yeah, when you buy a cup of old fashioned,
Yes.
it comes with a giant ass ice, round bald ice.
Yeah.
In fact, just for fancy, they cut it into diamond shape or whatever. Okay, that ice is part of what you pay for, but you don't drink the ice.
I'm paying for the aesthetic of that drink.
No, the ice's purpose was to cool down that drink.
Right.
So you cool down, you finish your drink, ice is still there. Do you go like, hey, hold on, don't take my cup away, I got ice to drink? Or
No, but I will tell you this much. You're right, Tony. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But if they say, "Would you like another one?" I'll say yes, but I don't want a new glass. Make it in the same glass.
sure, they can make it the same glass, they might dump the ice out and put another ice in.
Well, I'll tell them don't dump the ice out either.
I'm pretty sure majority of the time they would, because when they
Yeah,
dump the alcohol in
they
there,
do.
it melts on ice.
And yeah, and you're right, they do. They dump the whole thing, they rinse it out.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah.
the thing. Your money worth is in the content, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
So ice is there, just like the last stir is there. But if it ain't got flavor, I mean, in theory, you can suck on that ice, it probably tastes like the bourbon. But you wouldn't. So the last stir, when it doesn't taste that good and it's got to carry all the filtered stuff, maybe it's best not to smoke that deep. And you already got your money worth because you got the best part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, the cigar, if you enjoyed it, even if it's only 2 puff, you got your money worth.
Yeah, and you know, you're right. And I remember smoking a few cigars where when I got down to the last third, oh man, it was rough because it was just really, really bitter. Okay. And I probably should have stopped right then and there. But, you know, I still got to get my $3.99 left out of that cigar.
But think of it as a filter, then you got your money worth. Every part of it has functioned.
Yeah, I got the best parts out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Every part has functioned. The rest is you really torturing yourself. Right? The cigar went through, the smoke went through, carry all the flavor, filter out all the other stuff, sud, whatever, sap, you want to call it, and deliver a nice flavor to you. Every part has function. Right? Just like if you're smoking a cigarette, you don't smoke that filter. I hope you don't.
Right. No, you don't. You don't.
Right? So why would you smoke that filter? It's a natural filter, but still filter. So I think that's one of the things I want people to kind of think about that. When you smoke a cigar, do you really know how to knob it to get your money worth? Or do you think that it's already functioned the way it is? The
And
band.
then you get that other viewpoint. Man, that cigar was so good. Look, I had to nub it.
No. If the cigar is so good, you light up another one.
Okay, so yeah, so
Well,
yeah.
okay, you never heard this,
Wait.
okay? Val, this brisket is so good I ate the plate.
This-
If the brisket is so good, go get another piece. You wouldn't eat the plate. Right?
Mm.
So why would you not? If it's that good, you let up another one. Problem is,
Yeah,
if you light up another one, you're there
that's
for another
true.
hour.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Right? I think that's one of those things that people's um not willingness to get another one. And I think that's one of those things where the size of the cigar compromises your choices. Because like you might get a Robusto. And you might enjoy the Robusto. But you knobbed it because you didn't want to live on another Robusto. It'll take another hour. And then you go, you know what? I'm gonna go get a Toro. But when you have a Toro, the sweet point, the best part of it, shifts. So you're not getting that best part of it. You don't like Toro. You like Robusto. And the way it's smoked in Robusto is different than Toro. So you go, you know what? I gotta, instead of that, I smoke 2 Coronas. They taste different again. There's no perfect size. And I think that's why people ended up knobbing it, because they don't want to light up another one. Because ultimately, another one means another $10 or more, and another hour and a half. But you just want another 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
It's a problem. I don't think there's a right way to solve it. That's why I have between cigars. Because after I'm done with the cigar, I might not have satisfied. I might be like, I wish there's some more. And I'll get a small cigar that has a lot of flavor. And then decide what to do with it afterward. It's not like you drink a whiskey, you're like, oh, this is so good. Give me just one more finger of it. Can't do that. You're like, give me just one more finger of cigar. That's the tough part. And like, what is satisfied? What is good? What is the right amount? I think the band specifically positioned to remind you where to stop, to be honest with you. Once you remove the band, you're in the last few draw. And for me, it's always been 2 finger, 2.5 fingers. I'm done. Not much room for me to. There's only so many cigars that I knobbed. And a lot of reason was not because I couldn't light up another one. It's because I'm running. I'm doing a review, and I'm already finished. I don't want to light up another one. I just finished. I just kind of give it a little bit more. But majority of the time, if anybody come out and smoke with me before, you'll not see me knob it. I look at the time. If I have enough time, I say, hey, you got to light up another one. If they are, I'll light up another one. If they're not, I can sit there 20 minutes without it. Or if I really have to, I'll light up another one and then keep the 45 minutes on the table. I'll smoke a few puff and put it down. Because I'm a 2-puff Tony.
So that brings me to thinking about what you just said on that about having another cigar. I keep telling myself that I gotta buy Coronas.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't.
Okay.
And because it is the price range. Because I'm thinking the size of the cigar, the tobacco in a cigar, and I'm paying just as much, and sometimes a little bit more than what I would pay for if I would have bought a Toro or a Robusto.
Okay.
But the drawback is I don't want to smoke a Toro because I know it's going to take me time.
Okay.
And I only want a cigar, you know, just like we go to the you go to the after show and we're hanging out and we're smoking cigars. If I got a half cigar left, I'm good. Okay. If I got like a third of cigar left, then I have to start thinking I'm gonna pull out another cigar because I want to be out here with you guys, for at least another hour. And sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's longer.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say it goes on the short end. We're only going to be out there like it all ends up to be like 45 minutes. And 10 minutes into the after show, I finish my cigar and I go grab me a Toro. And then a half hour later, we're all leaving because we got stuff to do. We got, we do.
Yeah.
We do. And I said, damn, I still got 2/3 of this Toro to go. And I mean, it's not a problem of smoking alone because I still like to smoke alone sometimes. But when you're in the group and you're talking with everybody and you're smoking cigars and having a little drink at the time, you're in that groove, you're in that the conversation, you're in that mood, you're in that nice place with everybody. And then it ends and you're still in that nice place, but now you're in that nice place all by yourself. And then it's a different transition. It's a different change.
Before we go too far, because I think like, what you're saying is that you want to get Corona, but you didn't want to get Corona because the price and the size ratio does not match.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a good reason for that. Let me ask you this, right? A New York strip sirloin per price per pound is going to be larger and cheaper than a piece of filet mignon, correct?
Yes.
They're both beef, correct?
Yes.
Which one would you pick though if you got to eat?
I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick the New York strip.
Okay. For me, I'll pick filet mignon. More flavorful, more tender.
It's
Right.
more flavorful, it's more tender, but it's smaller, and yeah.
All right.
But there's a regular fillet, then there's the petite, right?
Mhm.
So
But let me get to that, right? So, in order for me to get you the same experience of flavor, if not more, from a Toro to something much smaller, how do you think they did that?
well, let's say this. I think I'm going back to the strip. I think the strip is more flavorful than the fillet, but the fillet is more tender.
I think filet mignon has more flavor, but that's on the person, right? But
Yeah, it's
the reason
individualized.
is
That's true.
I'm trying to say both are beef. One of them
Both
costs
of the
more
beef.
when smaller.
One's smaller but
Right.
thicker.
So
Yes.
Toro compared to a Corona is significantly smaller,
Yes.
but they need to taste somewhat similar. Cannot be that big of difference.
Right. They got to taste. Yeah, I get that. They're gonna be similar in tasting. Just
How do you think they did that?
they put some MSG on it.
So I obviously had to blend it and possibly use a little bit higher grade tobacco in a Corona. so I can give amount of flavor on a smaller size. Which makes it cost a little bit more. So for them, there's like a minimum start. Like when you're shipping something, right? An ounce and 2 ounce and 5 ounce, they are like the same price, but like the minimum is 1 ounce. Same thing with cigars, right? To use minimum amount of tobacco, there's a minimum cost, labor, tobacco, right? So let's say that point is somewhere in retail cost, $8. Let's say that's $6, right? And Toro, let's say costs 11. But in order to match the flavor experience on a shorter time and a smaller package, I need to use a higher grade, more pungent tobacco in there. Even though it's still Nicaraguan or whatever, the region's
Whatever.
the same.
Yeah.
I had to use a little bit more. That base price went from 6 and then added up to be like 9.5. Wouldn't that make sense? Because in order to get the same amount, I have to use more.
It does make sense. It does make sense.
So essentially, you're getting better product, less.
You're getting
A better product for
a
less.
better product, but in a smaller package.
Right. Because Toro, I just had to put more fillers. Doesn't cost anything. Well, it does cost something, but it doesn't cost as much as the stuff where I only have a small amount. I had to put the best stuff in there. Can't fill it with much of things that doesn't have any flavor. So Corona, essentially, here's the thing. Most people will tell you in the cigars, Corona is most loved in terms of flavor. Right? Toro is the most preferred sizes, but in terms of flavor, Corona is the most preferred. Because you're getting less filler, more of the flavor. So essentially, if you think about this, right, you get Toro, remove all the filler that has no flavor, and then, just to make it big enough, tighten it up, I get Corona. So you're really not paying more or less. Let's say those filler cost 50 cents. They remove that and give you 50 cents back. Tighten it up, now smaller. Did you really pay more for smaller? Or did you actually pay less for small?
I don't think you're probably not necessarily paying more, but you're definitely not paying less.
You're not paying for the part that you don't need.
Right.
So essentially, it's more price efficient. You get the same amount of flavor, if not more, because it's more concentrated and has more of the wrapper flavor. Has less filler. Takes less time to smoke. You get to the sweet spot right away. In majority of cases, Corona cigar, at the moment you let it up, it's all flavor. Because the distance between that and the Toro takes a while to burn to that point where you get most flavor. You get immediate satisfaction.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you're right, because it took me a long time, at least a couple of years, before I never understood when I would hear people say, "Man, this cigar is good, but man, you need to really smoke it in the Salomon size." or this cigar is, have you tried the cigar? Yeah. Well, which one did you try? Did you try the Toro or the Robusto? I smoke Toros. Oh man, you're missing out. If you don't try that Robusto, you're missing out. And it took me a long time to figure that out. Okay, because then I started testing them. I would have that one cigar and a Toro, and I'd buy the Churchill, I'd buy the Toro, and I would buy the Robusto, and I would smoke them all. And I would say, you know what? In this particular brand, this particular line, I think that for me, I like the Churchill better. But in a different brand, in their other line, I like the Robusto better. And I'm always thinking Toro is going to be the best one because it's right in the middle. It's more than the Robusto, but it's less than the Churchill. Boom, it's right in the middle. That's the sweet spot of the cigar. The Toro sizes are the sweets.
It really depends on the gauge, not the length.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole new subject now. Yeah,
No, it's
yeah.
always the gauge, not the length. It's always the gauge, not the length. The gauge determines the ratio of the tobacco that you're taking. The length doesn't. Right? So let's say you have a cigar that is 4x50 versus a cigar that's 6x50. What is the difference between the two?
Well, you're looking at the length. That's the difference.
Right. But the length for the factory is how much they cut. Blend is the same inside.
Oh, okay.
See that? The gauge determines the blend. The length determines how long I want you to smoke that.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Your sweet spot don't change. Let me give you an example. I need a cylinder of some sort. All right, let me know what. Let's say this is a cigar. Let's say the sweet spot is right here. So you get 2 inches at the end. It's the sweet spot. That's the best flavor part. No matter how long I add it, that sweet spot's still there. This thing could be twice the length. But if this is a sweet spot 2 inches before the end of it, that's where the sweet spot is. So no matter how many smoke in the beginning, it does not change where the sweet spot is. And the sweet spot is never that far. It's never far. It's always closer. Okay? So the more you have in the front, only elongates the taste of the beginning, like how long you smoke. It does not change the blend. The entire cigar blend is the same. So the gauge determines the flavor, the blend. The gauge determines the ratio between the filler and the wrapper. The smaller the gauge, the more the wrapper. And it does not change no matter how long it is. So when I went to make the cigars, we choose a gauge. The length don't matter because you got to cut it however you want it. And this is why knob is the way it is. Knob is they cut it in the sweet spot, make it bigger. But that's where it is. That's the sweet spot for that gauge. So, what's the big difference between a Toro and a Corona? It's the gauge. And this is why a Churchill is not a big gauge cigar.
It's not a what?
It's not a big gauge cigar.
Oh, okay.
Toro is
Okay.
about 48, 50. usually,
Yeah.
40 something. Why? Because it's just longer. Doesn't change the blend. So a Corona, small gauge, means that the flavor has to be that concentrated. And a lot of time, the Toro's different is add more filler. So in theory, you're paying the extra $2 or $3 for a Toro, correct?
Yes.
You pay $2 to $3 with the filler.
For the filler. Yeah.
So you're actually paying
Yeah.
more for the Toro
Yeah.
of the money that you didn't have to spend
Yeah.
in order to get more time.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting more for Corona.
The only thing you're not getting is the time.
Right. But again, I'm gonna talk about this, right? As long as you enjoyed it, how much time you spend on it don't matter. You want the flavor. Right? For steak, if you get a large ass steak, it has no flavor, does it matter?
No.
But
You're
if you
not
get a
gonna.
smaller
Yeah.
steak, a
You're
lot of
gonna.
flavor, you would like that more, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So and with that thought, don't you think Corona is actually more price worthy than the Toro?
So yeah, when you think of it that way, yeah.
A lot of
Probably.
the something you want, and
Probably.
none of the something that you don't want. This is why I don't mind to buy small cigars like these, because it ain't got much fillers. Hey Steve, if you gotta value what your money worth by how much enjoyment you got out of the time that you have. Not how much time I can get out of this. It's how much enjoyment I can get out of this amount of time that I paid for. So if I pay for a 2-hour cigar and only enjoy 20 minutes of it, versus I pay a 30-minute cigar and I enjoy all 30 minutes of it, within the 30 minutes would be more worth of my money.
I see it. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I get it.
So this is why, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, why nub it when you're not enjoying it? The sweet spot is gone. The best part of it is gone. Hypothetically, okay? Now, let's say your wife also smokes. She's smoking a cigar. She have that last nub left. Would you get, honey, you still have a nub left. Let me finish it up. When she's about to put it down and walk away.
Would I do that? Probably not, because she's already smoked the best part of the cigar.
Exactly. She already got the best part.
Oh yeah, sure. Leave me your scraps.
Exactly. See, you just cut it out yourself. You're smoking
Yeah.
the scrap.
Yeah.
That's not your money worth. That's a scrap. Now think about that. The next time you buy cigars, is that little bit of scrap worth my money, or is this best part worth my money? I'm pretty sure if she like smoked the first third of it and now it's about to get the second third, she's gonna put it down like, hey, let me finish it.
Yeah.
But she only have a knob left. You're like, yeah.
I probably give her a warning. Don't put that cigar down and walk away.
No, she'll be like, you can finish it. I'm done. And you'll be like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's still the best part. Sometimes Toros are great, but sometimes Robusto hit the spot more. We just got so used to smoking something that we can divide by 3, internal sections. But we all know second, third is usually the best. We all know. There are only probably a handful of cigars that I can think of that the last third is absolutely beautiful. Handful. Right? And those last third is beautiful. It means the first 2 isn't that good. Okay? So now you just have to determine, what is good for me. Any cigar that's the only the last third is good is not worth my money. Any cigar second third is good, okay, doable. First third and second third is good, great cigar. But I don't ever bet on the last third. I don't bet on last third. I think the only cigar I can say the last third is better than the rest of them is the Pappy Verinkle. The rest, it rarely happens. Rarely happens. You can have a cigar that's even throughout, but I wouldn't say an even throughout cigar it's not great. So, which reminds me, I should have talked about that today, but I forgot about it. I was gonna talk about this. We'll leave it for next Wednesday. Talk about this because somebody commented on a thing about complex. How do you determine a cigar is complex versus a mess? You can think about that. This is gonna be a 2-hour conversation. I can tell you that. The difference between complex and a mess. We can talk about that next week. But yeah, think about that. Anyways, 11 o'clock. That is it for tonight. I probably will drop by the Discord for a little bit, but that is it for tonight. So I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Think about it.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night and
have a good night.
Put some smoke in the shadows.